Hello, Bronco fans and football fans alike. Welcome to Week 12 post-game between the Saints and the Denver Broncos. This is Bronco Breakdown. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Before I actually get into what was an absolute disgrace by not only the NFL, but the Denver Broncos, I will, quote, recap the game, if you want to call it a game. Final score, Saints 31, Broncos pathetic and 3. Okay, let me back up. On Tuesday, the Denver Broncos have an off day, but they do allow their players to go into the facility and work on game film or weights or get treated or whatever it is. And the coaches and per se are not there. They're not in the meetings. They're not in the game film on Tuesday. That is a free day for the players. Well, guess what? All 4 Bronco quarterbacks showed up on Tuesday to watch game film of the previous game against the Miami Dolphins, and in preparation, obviously, for the Saints. One huge problem. Neither Drew Lock, nor Matt Ripken, nor Blake Bortles, nor Jeff Driscoll were wearing their masks. Now, they not only did they not wear their masks as stipulated by NFL protocol, they also tried to cover it up. They tried to deflect we didn't wear masks, or we wore masks, we wore masks, we did everything we were supposed to. Yeah, until the NFL saw the film and proved them to be a liar. So, Blake Bortles should have stood up. He is a veteran quarterback and should have said, hey guys, we need to wear a mask. Or Blake Bortles, put a mask on. Or Drew Lock, put a mask on. You guys would have been eligible for the game on Sunday against the Saints. But no, you didn't wear a mask either. Where is the leadership? Where is the leadership on this team? There is no true owner. There is no accountability. The accountability, it goes nowhere. Ellis and Elway are part of the trust. They don't have any accountability. Who's going to hold them accountable? There's 7 children from the late Pat Bowlen that are fighting over ownership. And now I found out today that they're not even going to have a hearing on ownership until July of next year. So the NFL is pissed, and rightfully so. Yesterday, when I found out all of this, actually it happened late Saturday, but it came to fruition on Sunday. I was angry, physically, violently, well, not violently to hurt anybody, but angry to the point and directed at the NFL. I said the NFL is using Denver as a laughingstock. They're angry because they don't have a true owner. They're using them as an example. They're punishing them because they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Blah blah blah. All of that is partly true. The NFL is frustrated and angry that the Broncos don't have a true owner after all this time, and the kids are still fighting over it. Yes, the NFL is angry about that, and yes, they did use Denver as an example. And yes, they are holding them to a higher standard, so to speak, and saying, okay, to the other 31 teams, you do the same thing, this is going to happen to you. Okay, I was angry at that yesterday, and I still am, because I still feel that the NFL is punishing them a lot further than they did other teams, like the Ravens, or the Steelers, or the Patriots, or the Jaguars. But I don't care about those teams. This is the Broncos, and they need to be accountable. And then you've got Vic Fangio throwing the quarterbacks under the bus and not taking responsibility. He should step up and say, I am the coach of this team. I am the head coach of this team. I will get to the bottom of this, and this will not happen again. This falls on me. I should have been more dogmatic about them honoring the NFL protocol. But he didn't. he threw his quarterbacks under the bus saying they should have known. Well, yeah, they should have known. But where is the accountability? Where is John Elway coming out and slamming Vic Fangio for not being more dogmatic about them honoring the protocol? Why hasn't Ellis come out? Why hasn't Elway come out? No. I haven't heard a single word from either one of them. So the punishment by the league wasn't just because they wore masks, but because because they didn't wear masks. It's also because they all four of them lied to the NFL. They weren't forthright. They weren't telling the truth. So yes, they got severely punished. They're also probably going to get a fine, heavily fined. They're probably going to lose draft choices. So where is the leadership on this team? Would this have ever happened with a Peyton Manning quarterback team? Hell no, it wouldn't. And the reason why is because Manning is a scholar of the NFL. He's a forthright person, and he would have done the right thing. I guarantee he would have done the right thing. And if the late Pat Bowlen was still alive, heads would be rolling right now, because it would not happen under a Pat Bowlen-owned Broncos team. But it's happening now because there is no accountability. And Drew Lock is supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be our franchise quarterback. No, he is not a leader. And as far as I'm concerned, he needs to be benched the rest of the year. He needs to take accountability for not being the leader he should be. He is not even a leader on the field. Yeah, he's had a couple of good games. The game most recently, the Dolphins. I get it. I understand that. But where's the leadership? He's thrown multiple interceptions. He's done stupid things. But this absolutely is the most unexcusable, the most ridiculous, highly punishable move that he's ever made. I don't think he could ever do anything more stupid unless he committed a crime. And by NFL standards, this is pretty close to committing a crime, because people are dying from this virus, and he's not taking it seriously. Nor did Bortles, nor did Rippon or Driscoll. Well, Driscoll ended up testing positive. So again, why weren't the other three doing what they're supposed to do? Because, again, no accountability. They think they're above the law. They think they're better. They're NFL players. They don't need to do that. They know each other. They're buddy-buddy. They're teammates. I don't care. Family members are getting it. And they live together. What makes these guys any different? Yes, I'm outraged. I'm angry because I'm a Bronco fan that I've seen greatness from this team. I've seen John Elway win 2 Super Bowls. I've seen him sacrifice himself on the field against the Packers to win his first Super Bowl, Super Bowl 32. I've seen Peyton Manning struggling to try and just throw the ball 10 yards. But the defense stepped up. And Von Miller got MVP of Super Bowl 50. That's teamwork. That's doing the right thing. That's having everyone else's back. Locke, Bortles, Rippon, and Driscoll. But I hold Drew Lock accountable the most because he's supposed to be the leader. And he didn't have everyone's back. In fact, he had no one's back because he let the team down. If he was the only one in that room that wore a mask, he alone would have been able to play yesterday in the game. But basically what he was saying is, I don't care. I don't care what the NFL says. I don't care what I'm supposed to do. I don't care if I have to be a leader. I'm going to do what I want. Well, guess what? You let down 52 other guys, including your coaching staff and your general manager and your fans. Thanks, Locke. Thanks a ton for being stupid, childish, and immature. And you need to sit the rest of the year. I don't want to see you on the field. I don't want to see you making an apology that was scripted. No. If you were sorry, you would have done it right away and you would not try to cover it up. But you're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. And that's the bottom line. So my final comment on this is simply this. I could go back and I could give you stats about the game, but why? Why give stats? It wasn't a true NFL game. The Saints were a true NFL team. The Broncos were a pathetic team. Now, I do give Kendall Hinton a lot of credit. He's a 23-year-old wide receiver rookie, and they asked him to come in and play quarterback, and he has not played quarterback since his junior year at Wake Forest. I give him a lot of credit. He gutted it up, and he went out there and did his best. Sure, he only completed one pass for 13 yards to Noah Fant, but he didn't get killed. And I have to tip my hat to the defensive coordinator for the Saints. He could have brought the house on every play, and I don't think Hinton would have gotten out of the game without being seriously injured. But he didn't. So I give a lot of respect to the defensive coordinator. For the Saints, that is. The Broncos defense came out and they played hard. The only reason why the Broncos got 3 points is because there was an interception off of a tip pass. The defense played hard. But the defense was out there for 2/3 of the entire game. They were out there for almost 45 minutes in the game. And you're not going to stop an offensive team if you're out there for dang near 45 minutes of the game. But anyways, that's the recap of the actual game itself. I don't need to go into the other ugly details of how many first downs or how many punts the Broncos had to make. That's irrelevant. That's not what this whole Week 12 was about. So that brings me to my final comment. My final comment is this. The Denver Broncos are in total disarray. There is no accountability from Ellis to Elway to the coaching staff, and now it's trickled down to the players. Nobody feels like they're being held accountable because they aren't. And until this team gets an owner that has some freaking cojones to step in and say, enough's enough, this team, the Denver Broncos, who are my favorite team since 1976, is now the laughing stock of the NFL. And I'm tired of it. I'm thankful that Pat Bowlen is not here to see this. Not that it would happen under his watch, but because it did happen, I'm glad he's not here to see it. That said, I want accountability for the Broncos. And as much as I think the NFL is targeting them, I want the NFL to come down hard. I want them to fine the Broncos heavily. I want John Elway to stand up and hold Vic Fangio accountable. If he has to, fire him. If he has to bench Locke, which I hope he does, do it. Make a frickin' statement. I've had enough. It's been 4 years, and every year it gets worse and worse and worse. 2020 has been a bad year so many different ways. This just happens to be the nail in the proverbial Bronco coffin. And I'm done with it. It's time for a change. And I mean from the top down. Somebody stand up and be a doggone leader on this team. That's it. That's my take. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment. Please let me know what you think. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, have a great week. And we'll talk to you on Friday when we do the pregame between the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks again. Bye-bye.